Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Got another knife video for you, and today we're going to pick out my winter coat knife. Now I got this idea from a recent video by Slicey Dicey. His video was like, help me choose my winter jacket knife. And what he does is he picks a knife out, he puts it in his coat pocket, is what he's going to wear most of the winter, and it lives there. And that's the knife he uses out in, harsh conditions in the snow, rain. We're both in upstate New York, so one day it could snow, next day it would melt, and you got nothing but mud. Then we'll have freezing rain. I mean, it changes day to day. Actually, sometimes hour to hour. You could have all three conditions. You can basically have all four seasons in the same day around here anymore. But anyways, that's what he does. And I thought that was an excellent idea. I said, I need to pick out a winter coat knife to put in my coat, leave it, and that'd be the one I use if I have to use a knife in harsher conditions. And that'll say, it saves using a nicer knife that you're carrying in your pocket and, potentially messing it up. But yeah, so when I thought about it, I had a few criteria I was kind of thinking of. One was it's got to stand up to harsh conditions, right? It's not gonna instantly rust if I get it wet and put it back in my pocket, because really, if I use it, I might wipe it off on my pant leg or my coat and put it back in the pocket. And I didn't want a knife that would rust. If I did that, put it back in my pocket, and then a week later I pull it out, I didn't want it to be all rusted up and stuff. And yeah, well, the coat I wear, I'm gonna wear this winter, is this Dickies coat. Dickies brand. It's like a Carhartt material. Got quilted liner and got some fuzz in there. But it's got one interior pocket, and it's a big drop pocket and behind my left side. So that's where I'm gonna put a knife in. It's gonna have to clip in pretty good also, so it doesn't fall out. Last thing I want is when I'm taking this coat off, which is kind of pain because it's got cuffs on the sleeves, and sometimes it's hard to get off. I don't want it flying out of my coat onto the floor someplace, in public or something. But yeah, so I went to my knives and I quickly, with just a little bit of thought behind it, pulled out a bunch of knives I thought would be good. So I guess I'll go through and show you what I picked out to begin with, and then we'll go through each one, kind of why I thought about it and why I decided to eliminate it. So these are laid out in no particular order, but first one, K-Bar Dozier. This one's the Bird Harrier 2 lightweight lockback. Spyderco Mannix 2 lightweight. Benchmade Griptilian. Spyderco Tenacious. Kershaw Thistle. Steel Will Sargus. And Kershaw Cryo 2. So yeah, no particular order, but start here. This was actually one of the quickest eliminations, but why I considered this? It's a pretty beefy knife, and it's built solid. Frame lock, 8CR 13 MOV steel. It's easy to open. It's speed safe. spring assisted, which is one reason why I got eliminated. I don't like spring assisted knives. And in New York State, it falls in a gray area. Won't get into everything, but there's been this case law where a conviction and guy having a spring assisted knife got charged with having an automatic, and it was upheld. So yeah, I don't carry spring assisted knives very often out of the house, but the main reason I eliminated this right away is, well, thinking when I grabbed it, it's all stainless steel. It's kind of slippery under the best conditions, although when you got a grip on it, you're pretty locked in. But yeah, all stainless steel. It's slippery. Plus, if it's really cold out, this thing's going to be like holding an icicle. So that was an easy, quick elimination. But pretty cool knife. I like it. This is actually one I won from Garrettcore EDC's giveaway. So that's another reason why I like it, and I'll keep that one. Okay, the next two are kind of, I chose them for about the same reasons, and then kind of eliminated for the same reason. First one be the Benchmade Griptilian and the Spyderco Manix 2. Now these are excellent knives. I love these knives. I thought they'd be good because they are both had super grip. I mean, Griptilian's named that for a reason. Very grippy. You're not going to drop this. Same thing on the Manix 2 lightweight. It's got the bidirectional spiderweb pattern on this. You're not going to lose it. Ergos on the Manix 2 are excellent. The Griptilians are pretty darn good. Both have similar locks. Griptilian's got the Benchmade Axis lock, so it'd be real easy to close. The Manix has Spyderco's ball lock, which functions about the same, but real easy to close. Both easy to open with gloves. I mean, action on this is good. Thumb stud you can get to. You got plenty of room to get to it with gloves on. Manix got the Spidey hole, which even with gloves on, at the very least, it's easy to slow roll. With my gloves on, I can flip it open. But yeah, that's why I was thinking about these. You know, excellent grip on both of them. This has CTS BD1N steel. I don't know much about it, but it's held up really good. I have no, it's fairly good corrosion resistance. This has S30V. Again, good steel. Both are going to hold their edges real good. Not going to rust real fast. And that's why I was considering these. Why I eliminated them, decided against these, is although they're not super expensive, they're on the expensive side for me. And I really like these two. I carry both every now and then, not all the time like I used to, but if I put this in my coat pocket, I'd probably miss these because, like I said, I do use and carry these a lot, or a fair amount. And like I said, more on the expensive side for me, and I don't want to ruin them. I don't want to lose them. I don't want them like stolen out of my pocket if I hang my coat up someplace, because although I got a bug out clip, so it's deep carry, it's still orange inside a black coat. That'll be noticeable as I'm putting on and taking off my coat. This with a wire clip, it's not really deep carry, although it would blend in a little better. But yeah, these would be good, but I decided I don't want to ruin them or lose them, so they came off pretty quick. And down to 5. Okay, do this one. The Spyderco Tenacious. Now, my opinion, the Tenacious is one of the best beater knives out there. And it's a Spyderco. It's most people's gateway knife into Spydercos. It was mine. It was my first one. It's pretty. It's a solid knife. It's 8CR 13 MOV steel. Not the best steel, but it's not going to rust if you look at it wrong. Good ergos. You got excellent, great access to the liner lock, even with gloves on. It's easy to open with gloves, like the Mannix. At the very least, it's easy to, with gloves on, to slow roll it. Yeah, it's a good knife. This was in contention to be my winter coat knife for up to, like, I don't know, the top 3 or so. And the other reason couple reasons I eliminated it is it's not deep carry, which is not a bad thing. Having some sticking up out of my coat pocket is not bad because it's easier to get out. But the silver clip and screws and everything inside the black coat, they stand right out. But really, that's not really such a big deal. The deal breaker on this was the scales. These G10 scales are kind of smooth, and it's a little slick with certain gloves on. Like, I wear these fleece gloves once in a while, and yeah, really quite slippery with these gloves on. That's the only reason I eliminated the Tenacious. Otherwise, like I said, this is like the best beater knife out there. You can get these things, various prices, under $50, $50, just a little over $50. I think I paid $45 for this one. I've seen them on sale for less, but this is the 8CR 13 MOV one. I think they're coming out with an S35V one. They're coming out with a better blade. But yeah, basically, it's not real grippy. This was a lightweight. I think the lightweight's got a little more grip, but this, I decided against it, but I do reserve the right to change my knife out, my winter coat knife out, if I so desire. And if I did, this might be the one that goes in. So that one I eliminated. Now this one is the Steel Wheel Sargus. It's an excellent knife, and it's like, why don't I carry this more? I don't know. I gotta start carrying this more. But as far as a winter coat knife, I thought this would be good, because it is one I don't carry that often, and it's got a kind of big flipper tab, and it's got good jimping on it, so it's easy to flip with gloves on. The scales, G10 scales here, are pretty grippy, so they do a good job. If my hands were cold or wet and got the knife wet, I think these scales would work good. Deep carry clip. I eliminated this for several reasons. One, it designed bearings, and I don't want to get bearings all clogged up with, snow, dirt, road salt, sand, stuff like that. I haven't done anything to this knife. I haven't tore it apart, and the action is just almost drop shutty. One reason I picked this out, besides being grippy and I just like it, and ergos are good, is I only paid $27 for this. I got this off eBay, just like brand new. I mean, there wasn't a scuff on this thing, and so I wouldn't be out a lot of money. I got it for about half price. Normally these are like, I don't know, a little over $50, $50, $60. But yeah, so I got it for like 27. But yep, the main reason I eliminated this, and I wasn't thinking about it so much when I picked it, is it's D2 steel. It's not really a stainless steel. It's prone to corrosion, and like I said, it might get used in wet conditions, drop in the snow. If I had to use it, cut something out from underneath my truck or something along the road, we do use salt, salt on the road, sand, so it's going to get stuff in the bearings. And the D2, like I said, I want to be able to use it, quickly wipe it off on my coat, my pant leg, throw it back in my pocket. And this is one, I think, if I used it, put it in my pocket, a week later, it'd be all rusted. So I eliminated this, but I decided I got to get this back in my rotation. It is a sweet knife. Which brings us down to three that I debated over, and I got pretty kind of nitpicky on each one. First, do this one. This is a Bird Harrier 2, lightweight. I thought this would be a good one. This is 8CR 13 MOV steel. Good ergos. I mean, you're in this position. This thing is, it's locked right in your hand. The scale's got the bidirectional pattern on them. Super grippy. It's a lockback, and it's solid. And it's lockback. It's still easy to operate one-handed. And actually, this goofy bird beak hole works good with gloves on. Gloves just kind of dig right into it. And I thought this would be a good one. And I started thinking, kind of like the Tenacious, got this big silver clip. It'd be showing, the whole thing would be showing as I'm putting that, taking my coat off and on. But besides that little thing about this knife is it's got a super thin blade. I mean, super thin blade stock. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I'm knocking everything over. Knocked my light over, my coffee cup. But blade stock on this, 0.10, about 0.11 back here on the thickest part. Yeah, 0.11. It's got a very dainty tip on it. I don't know, if I'm pulling out a knife, do something serious outside in the winter, I think I'd want something a little more beefier than this. But this thing is one heck of a slicer. The thin blade stock, the full flat grind. Yeah, it's no slouch cutting up cardboard boxes, let me tell you. But that's why I eliminated that one, just because such a thin blade. So that leaves us the K-bar dozer and the Kershaw thistle. I keep wanting to say shuffle. And I thought about carrying the Kershaw shuffle too, but it's such a small knife. I wanted something a little bigger. So I I pulled out the thistle, and now let's talk about the dozer. Now this one, if you know anything about the K-bar dozers, it's $20 knife. Again, it's a good beater knife. Nothing, not too much bad to say about this for 20 bucks. It's got OS 8 steel, which, you know, has some decent corrosion resistance. Plus this one's coated, so that would help. It's locked back. It's a pretty solid built little knife, really. There's no steel liners in it. It's just this, I think they call it Zytel plastic. And good grip on this. I like the scales. I like the handle on the dozers. Fits in my hand good. Now it's a little smaller blade than even the thistle. Not by much, but super light, super lightweight. It's like, I think it's like 2.3 ounces. But, you know, it's orange, which was one reason why I considered it, just like the Griptilian. If I dropped it, definitely be easier to find. I don't carry this that often anymore, but boy, I like it. You know, I don't know. Just wanted something a little heavier, a little more beefier than this. And yeah, like I said about the Griptilian, in my coat pocket where it's black, as I'm taking my coat off and on, you're going to have about that much orange sticking out. It's going to be easy to see. It'll draw attention. You know, somebody will notice it. They could easily, you know, swipe it if I'm hanging up someplace, my coat up. Yeah, for no good reasons, I guess. I eliminated this one, which leads us to the Kershaw thistle. Now this one, not really surprised, but this is going to be my winter coat knife. And a couple of reasons. It's easy to open, even with gloves on. Even with these fleece gloves, I can still flick it open. Easy to close with this button. And see, if you don't know about how this button works, essentially it's a liner lock. You can see the liner lock right there. You can't access it this way. It's down in there. What you do is you push this button. It pushes out another bar, which moves the liner lock over. Then you can close the blade. If you release that, it continues shut. what I do is I flick it till it hits that bar, release it, and just flick it the rest of the way. So super easy to operate one-handed with gloves on. The scales, GFN, FRN scales, has the Kershaw K pattern on them. You see it's just a bunch of K's. Kind of, it looks like tire tread to me, and it's pretty grippy. So you get a lot good grip on it, even with gloves on. You got a hold of it. It's not just going to pull, fall out of your hand. Pretty good grip, just handling it. So not the best. It doesn't compare. These two were the top, and this is probably the third grippiest one. But I don't know. Probably the third would be this one. But not bad grip on this. Easy to use. Easy to open and close. 8CR 13 MOV steel. This thing is hollow ground, and it is super sharp, and it's a heck of a slicer. It's got a little thicker blade stock. Get down here, thick. It's not super thick, but it's, again, about 0.11, but it's got more of a beefier blade. It does come to a pretty fine tip, but it's just a little beefier blade, a little taller blade. And I thought this would be a good one. And steep carry. It's all black. It's got a short pocket, shorter pocket clip. Now, the screws and stuff are not recessed, but the inside pocket of my coat isn't thick, and it actually goes in and out of my pocket pretty good. It's a little harder to get into my pocket than it is to pull out. But yeah, that's it. This is going to be my winter coat knife. It's going to live in my coat for the winter. I'm going to use it and abuse it if I have to. And basically what happens to it happens. I'm not going to be out a lot of money. It's a discontinued model. Got it for $13.99. Actually, I'm not going to be out anything. My son bought it for me, so cost me nothing. Cost him $13.99, and this is the one I chose. Now, one thing, the jipping up here does nothing, even without gloves. So that might as well be non-existent. But other than that, that's one I picked, and it's gonna live in my coat pocket most of the winter. If I decide to swap it out, it might be one of these three. I might swap out, but my intention is that's it. So I guess that's it for this. As usual, if you like this video, hit the like button. Leave a comment down below if you have a winter coat knife, and what knife do you carry in your coat pocket. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And I guess until the next video, bye.